Good morning, everybody. This is Lisa from Connecticut Worms and Gardens. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday. If you don't hear me very well, I've got a really bad cold, and if I talk, normally my throat is so raw, but that isn't going to stop me from doing this much needed video. And as you can see, you're looking at the bottom of my urban worm bag. I need to move this bag upstairs where it's a little bit warmer, and it's going to be easier if it's not as heavy. So I'm going to attempt to get some of the castings out. Now, I've never harvested from this bag before. You can see there's some dried calcium spots where there was over wetness in the past. That was probably after the 15-pound pumpkin. Excuse me. But I know it's not too wet right now, so we're going to open it up. I've already removed the panel that sits on here. Actually, I took it off a while ago to wash it and just hadn't put it back. So we're going to open it together and see what comes out. You might see the whole bin come out. You might see nothing come out. Whatever it is, we're going to see it together if I can. I'm going to pause you while I figure out how to undo this fastener, because I haven't even tried that part yet. Okay, so off camera it took me 15 minutes, a screwdriver, and a pair of pliers to get this little, whatever this is called, to be pushed down. And now it's not going back up. I don't know if it's faulty or just needs some sort of lubricant. That's the first thing I found in the urban worm bag that I don't like. But it's open now, so let's see what I can get. And of course, closing it may not be easy, which I'm going to need to do right after I try to harvest. Okay, so the bottom is open, and what I see here is a big clump. I'm hoping you're seeing what I'm seeing. I think yes, you are. Okay. I'm definitely seeing worms. I'll pick the camera up and show you in a minute what's coming out here. I'm seeing some worms, but not a ton. Here's a piece of the material that's coming out. As you can see, there's a lot of eggshells in there, and let's see, you can see a worm right there. I'm not seeing a lot of worms. Oh no, my yarn ball came out. Well, that'll go back in the top. I guess that's the process, right? You put things back in the top. So let me see. I don't want this whole bag to come out. So I'm not going to harvest too much this first time. Everything I've read said that's the big mistake, is you harvest too much and then the whole darn bag falls down. And I don't want that to be the case. I'm banging on it, that's what you hear. Try to get a little bit more to come down. Okay. I would say this is a good amount. I'm still not seeing a lot of worms, which is good. But I'm afraid if I bang any more, I'll get a little bit from this side here. Hold on. Uh-oh, I feel a stick or a root or something. I definitely don't want to go that far. Alright, so I'm up to right about, I'm up to right about here. I don't know if you can see my hand. No, you can't. Hold on. I'm up to right about here, which is not very far. Oh, I pulled through a banana with lots of worms. So, okay. Done harvesting. Hold on, folks. I'm going to show you what I pulled out of here. But first I need to pause you while I try to close this bottom clasp again. Okay, folks, I'm back. I carry the bin of castings upstairs. It's just too darn cold in my basement right now to be doing too much down there. especially since I don't feel well. No, you don't get a cold from being cold. You get a cold from contacting the cold virus, but when you feel shitty, you don't want to be cold. Or I should say when you feel icky. Avoid that out. So this is what I've got. Now, I haven't put it on a scale, but I can tell from carrying it upstairs, it's somewhere around 20 pounds. And I know that because I buy boxes of lightweight clumping cat litter for my cats, and this felt almost identical to carrying one of those. So give or take, it's pretty deep. And for the first harvest, I would say this is pretty impressive, I think. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. So this is the stuff that was at the very bottom, and obviously it's very compacted. And I guess that's how it's supposed to be, at least for the first harvesting. Now, as we go to the left, the material gets newer, and I'm certain that some of it, some worms came out, some new material came out. Like this is, well, I have no idea. Oh my goodness, it's hard, whatever this is. Let's see. Well, this looks like some sort of chestnut. Uh-oh. I see a mite on there. You see that little guy on the top? This is the first time I've seen a mite in my urban worm bag. Now here is a wonderful, there's a pill bug. Whoop. He just went under that banana skin. But there is a pill bug in here. Oh, there he goes. I want to make sure to get him. No, that's not a pill bug. That's a sow bug. But they're both isopods, and they're both very good for the worm bin. And I'm going to put him aside in something so when the material goes back in, he will be included. He or she. And as you can see, like over here, this is newer material. It's still populated with worms. And that is because I went a little far in one spot. But overall, like this is really compact. This was near the bottom. And, you know, this compacted stuff here. And I don't think I did too bad for the first harvest. I mean, yeah, there may be, I don't know, 50 worms or something in here that'll get returned. But what I don't see is a lot of chunks of anything. So once I sift these castings, just breaking this because worms usually go in any tube that there is, except it's not hollow yet. Once I sift these castings, they should be nice and smooth. Well, this is that's a peach pit. That's not, I'm not breaking that one. They should be nice quality castings, pretty fine, and I don't think it'll be difficult to get the worms out. I just have to break up these clumps. These were the ones at the very bottom stuck to the sides, and I've watched so many videos on harvesting from an urban worm bag to know that that's exactly what it would look like. You see, this looks big, but it's light because it was stuck to the bottom inside, and it's very dry. And there's an avocado pit at its center. I guess that was plugging the hole. And a piece of avocado shell. It's funny, I saw that one mite. I'm not seeing any others. I'll do a very, very, very careful look as I go through. Another piece of avocado shell. So other than avocado pits, not shell pit, and peach pits, I'm not seeing like big clumps of bad things. And when I say, but I guess I shouldn't say bad things, but undigestible or unconsumed food matters. Just a little bit of worms on this side that were actively feeding on something. They were probably working their way to that banana you saw at the beginning, at the beginning of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly do a rough sift on this, and I will come back and show you what I got. And well, and that's it. So hold on, and I will be back with you as soon as I do a rough sift on this. I've gone through and done a rough sifting on what I collected from the urban worm bag, and I must say I'm very pleased. Let me see if I can get another light on here. The light is distorting the color, but that's okay. So this is a lot of material. This bin is, I'm going to say 2 feet, no, maybe 3 feet by 2 feet, and it's pretty thick. And the castings are really, really, really nice. I'm very pleased. There are still a few worms in here, I'm certain. Not very many, but a few. And there's some little pieces of leaves and little organic, like little pieces of organic food that the worms can still break down or the garden can consume. Oh, I'm slowly losing my voice, guys. Things that will be consumed further when I use this. If I put it out in the garden, the little bits of unfinished material, little pieces of twigs and stems and leaves, that's only going to attract more worms because, you know, the outside worms are always looking for food. So this is pretty heavy. This is at least 20 pounds of material. And from the first harvest, I would say that that's pretty good. I don't have anything to compare it to. And, you know, you can all chime in below and let me know what you think or what your experience with a first harvest from the Urban Worm Bag is. But either way, I'm pretty happy. And I'm about to start my seedling mix because I have some plants that I start in January. I mean, look at that. It crumples up. Oh, no, there was a worm in there. It squishes up and then immediately crumbles back apart. Sorry, worm. Oh, you're okay. Okay. Yeah, the light right now is making it look very brown. I have 2 lamps on, but it is pretty black. If I turn off even one of the 2 lamps without that casting down on it, you'll see better. So, okay, so what did I collect that's not going back in? This little deli tub, and all this is, it's a combination of leaves and Dunkin' Donuts, the cardboard drink holders that they give you drinks in, and I put a big pile of leaves and several of these cup holders beneath that mega 15-pound pumpkin. I fed them back a couple months ago, so, and I dug excuse me, I dug deep to the bottom of the bag to put it in, so any excess liquid from the pumpkin would be absorbed by that, and it did its job really well. And I'm not surprised that it's not all broken down. There's another worm because I did put it so low in the bin, and there shouldn't have been worms there at this point. So yeah, this is going back in. So that's it. It's just leaves, drink holder, and a couple of bean sprouts that were sprouting way at the bottom. And what's not going back in is this. And what it is a combination. Well, there's some stickers. There's some plastic from window envelopes. Stickers from avocados, of course. But all these avocado pits. There's avocado pits. There's peach pits. And I think I even found I don't know, there was another fruit pit. But at this point, I'm not going to put them back in the bin. I mean, no, they wouldn't hurt anything. And eventually they might break down some, but, you know, I view my worms as little employed staff members, except they work for food, literally. And the amount of time it would take for them to penetrate, break down, something like this, they could consume so much more easy, fast to digest food. And, you know, if you want a lot of castings that are good quality, you want to give them foods that they can easily easily break down. I mean, there's a few, you know, pieces of wood that are just not going to be hollow. A few old, like this was an avocado that basically dehydrated, and this was a towel that once was a cover. This is all that's left of that towel. It is just powdering at this point, but you don't need this back. That, you know, I've seen videos where people, you know, time and time again, it's like, oh, here's that whatever it is that we've been running into for 6 months, and it doesn't hurt, but it's not really beneficial for the bin because it's not. But like I said, by the time the worms break down any of these very hard items, what they could do to fast food or even slow food compared to this something that's, you know, basically a rock to them, it's just not where I want to direct their attention. So I take out things like, you know, these solid leaf stems. I watched one channel that where the worm owner said, you know, I consider a bin complete when I see these stems and twigs all broken down and gone. And, you know, that can be anyone's indicator of completion. I don't view it as that because I don't view this really as a food source. I view it as something that is degradable in the earth, in the ground, with all kinds of microorganisms and moisture and temperature fluctuations and all kinds of detrivore insects and um, but I don't expect my worms to get through every little thing that ends up in there. So lastly, how many worms did I find? Well, so here's the worms. Let me scoot over here. I'm sitting on my floor again, guys. Let me scoot over here and I'll show you. They all have hidden under here now. Let me move some of this stuff off the top. So basically every worm that I found in here was one of the they're all red wigglers. Oh, there's a couple of pill bugs too that are going back. They're all red wigglers, and they are all the Icenia andrae variety. And I found one mealworm right here, and there's a guest in here also. Let me see if I can find it. So this is the worms. Oh, there's the guest. We'll see him in a minute. So here's the worms. I would say there's, I don't know. I mean, that's a 2 palmfuls. I don't know, but that's, you know, I did go a little deeper than I should have in one spot, and oh, another mealworm. So it's not a massive amount of worms, especially since it was the first harvest. And you could see, even though they're under a light right now, how slow they're going, because that's just the variety. That's just the behavior of this variety of worm. They're in a hurry to go nowhere fast. And lastly, we have this guy. This is a giant grub. This is a stag beetle grub. And although I didn't intentionally add it, I'm glad it's there. Stag beetles live exclusively on rotting wood and rotting leaves and, you know, rotting twigs and sticks. So really, this guy being in there is very beneficial, especially since I've added things, as you've seen, like sunflower seed stalks, and there are some leaf stems, and this guy here will he'll chow through that like, you know, it's nobody's business. So it's actually a very good thing to have in the bin. It was out walking all over the place a few minutes ago, going up and down my leg, but like most things, when you startle it, it just curls up, pretends to be invisible. So overall, yeah, so this is what's going back in for worms and other life. This is what's going back in as unfinished, easily broken down bedding. This entire bin here is the castings. And like I said, I want some leaves and things in there. So when it gets in the soil, whether it's in a house plant, this is probably going to be going into my garden. It's going to go into my seed starting mix, so other insects can be attracted to this and join in the microbial fungal world of wonderful microorganisms. And then this stuff here, that's a smorgasbord. Of course, plastic window envelopes. I've tried so hard to avoid those, but I guess I've missed a few. Avocado stickers, avocado pits, a piece of towel. I mean, yeah, that would break down eventually, but why bother? Um, I don't know. Oh, this is a peach pit, but oh, it stabbed me good. Yeah, this peach pit has a point on it that's like a darn syringe. Um, I still haven't identified this. Looks like a chestnut, but I don't know. It's definitely not pumpkin. You know, there's some really hard to break sticks. There was even a rock in here, probably from something I scooped up outside. You know, there's a few old avocado skins that there's nothing left on. Sure, I could crunch it up and add it back in there, but again, I would rather my worms be working hard for stuff that they can break down rapidly. And, you know, if this was at the very bottom of the urban worm bag in with all the dry material ready to pass through, then it wasn't high up on their list, and there's no need for me to put it back in because it's only going to get picked over and go to the bottom again. So, okay, that's it. I am going to add some moisture to these castings. They're obviously not completely dry because they do stay formed when I squish them. But since I know there's a few worms in here, what I'm going to do is just for 2 or 3 days only. I guess while I kick this cold, I'm not going to be doing much, but for 2 or 3 days only, I'm going to put the cover on this so it's a little bit darker, add some water, and put a couple pieces of little pieces of fruit in there to try to conjure up as many of the worms as I can. I don't expect to go crazy. I'm not going to do repeated bait sessions. The worms that end up outside, well, no big deal because these came from the outside anyway. At least, you know, the original ones did. Of course, they've been reproducing, but they just, you know, even if they die outside, I have plenty and they'll break down and they'll feed other things that will enrich the soil. So that's it, guys. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. Just a word, a reminder. I have learned from several subscribers that they found that they were unsubscribed without oh, I'm stuck for words, without actually purposely or intentionally unsubscribing. And I've heard from someone saying that YouTube has got some algorithm that keeps channels from growing too fast and it unsubscribes people. I don't know what the reason is, but I found myself some of the channels I was subscribed to, I am no longer subscribed to, and I am certain I never clicked the unsubscribe option. So just make sure you are still subscribed, because for some reason the wacky YouTube is unsubscribing people, whether it's a built-in algorithm or just a hiccup. Whatever it is, it's a problem for people who want to watch videos and others that want to keep viewers engaged, and, you know, for the viewers that want to get notified of content they like. If you're not getting notified, then you're missing out on what you enjoy. So just make sure you're still subscribed. Please like this video if you did, and if you're not subscribed, please do so. Share my channel with anybody you think would enjoy it. And until the next video, which is actually going to be very, very soon, have a wonderful rest of the day and week. And actually, at this point, year. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.